What up? Hello, can you see me? That's right, it's that time. July 2017 edition of the Figure Update. It's been way too long. I don't know why it took so long. You guys were supposed to remind me to do it, and you guys didn't say anything, so guess what? You paid the price. That's right, it's on you, not me. Not me. It's on you. I don't want to like miss out on these. I got to do them every month, so just remind me, the 15th of every month. I could set up a reminder on my phone, but that would be a lot of work, so you guys do it. Anyway, all right, it's going to be the figure update of a lifetime because July was a very big month. A lot happened. It started off with Anime Expo. It's like figures wall to wall there, so it's just coming. It's like it's raining. And then, you had RTX. There were some figures there, but, that wasn't really like their thing. But there was some, so that was cool. But then San Diego Comic-Con, oh my God, it was ridiculous. I'm hearing they may not even do it again because they brought so many figures this time. The fire marshal came in and he was like, you can't do bigger than this. Shut it down. I'm just playing. That was a little skit. You thought maybe they were going to shut it down. They're not. They're going to do it again in 2018. Anyway, wow. A lot of stuff happened between now and the last time I did this. I hope I haven't shown some of this before. Some of it, it's like BC and AD. Some of this is pre-CC, pre-Comic-Con, and at ACCE after Comic-Con ended. So we're going to go BCC right now. And if you don't know how to BCC in an email, you're a douche. Anyway, all right. Let's kick this off. We're going to kick it off small, and we're going to get big, and then we're going to get small, and we're going to get big. It's like, then we're playing with size. It's like size foo. Do you remember when they were originally talking about Ant-Man and they said, "Oh, we saw some test footage that there was size foo"? Yeah, it sounded shitty. I'm glad that didn't happen. Edgar Wright was right. Get it? To walk away. Woo! From that movie. All right. Anyway, we're going to start this off a little unorthodox. I said that word because it's on the back of this box. Anyway, by the way, I haven't been home in like months because, well, no, I shouldn't say months, but like in all of July, I was here like 3 times. It was like, I would like dump shit off and get on another plane. So I haven't been here. It's a mess in here. I don't want to hear comments about, it sucks. Also, I'm getting over a cold. So if I'm all like sniffly, don't leave a comment about that. Leave a comment that says I'm not going to talk about it. All right. Anyway, this is kind of an unusual thing, but NECA made all these figures when the movie Prometheus came out. And, that movie's real divisive. There's going to be people in the comments saying, fuck Prometheus fucking ruined Alien and fucking wrecked it. And then there's going to be people posting 10-page theories on the movie, too. So do both. I think everyone out there should be fair and do both. Leave a comment. Just whatever. Anyway, all right. So, anyway, they released all these figures for Prometheus, and it was David and like a lot of the creatures and stuff, but they didn't release like the main female lead, Dr. Elizabeth Shaw. They didn't do a figure of her or a couple of the other main characters. They never came out because sales were so low on the Prometheus figures. Like the creatures sold well, but the people didn't, so they just bailed on that. However, as a thank you and a high five to the fans, NECA announced that they are going to, or they did put out these lost figures due to, Alien Covenant coming out, which I'm kind of mixed on that movie. I don't know, but there was a lot of, there was some good stuff. And they used that hype to put these figures out. And they only did one run, and they're not making them again, which I guess due to sales, they probably wouldn't want to anyway. But they finally put out, bam, I don't know if you could see that, Dr. Shaw, Elizabeth Shaw. She was the lead character of this movie, and they didn't have a figure of her until 5 years later. Anyway, kind of cool. She comes with David's head. You know, David's like everyone's favorite character in these movies, you know. Sorry, Shaw, but you know it's true. So, you know, it was cool seeing him again in Covenant, but I don't know. The rest of the movie was kind of a boring video game to me. But anyway, there's the helmet. But anyway, she's got... I think people have talked about this before, but that axe that she has is like the most over-designed axe ever. Like, you could have just handed her a regular axe. You didn't need the prop team to come up with this like curved, like Olympian throwing axe or whatever that is. Anyway, but they did a good job. I'm glad this finally came out. You know, it's kind of cool. They also did Meredith Vickers, who was kind of the villain in this movie, the human villain in the movie, played by Charlize Theron. And she comes with like a flamethrower or something like that. But anyway, that's looking pretty good. There was another one too. Is it not here? Oh, it's right there. Sorry about that. This dude, Fifield, Sean Fifield, a shitty, you know, I like the, you know, kind of the imaginative, like, kind of themes and mythology stuff in Prometheus, but a lot of the characters sucked. And, this guy was an asshole, and then he got turned into an alien, you know, everyone left this movie going, oh, why did that guy become a zombie? Like, why was this dude a zombie? But what they were going for in the movie was that he, you know, he kind of sampled this mutagenic stuff, and he's evolving kind of into this perfect organism like the alien. And originally they had a CG version of him where he looked a lot more like he was becoming the famous xenomorphic kind of alien, you know, a little bit. It was weird. But instead they went with a practical version of him, which he looked like a zombie. You know, most of the time I like practical effects more, but this, it didn't convey what they were trying to do at all. This guy looked like a dumbass grapefruit head zombie. You know, he just looked like a, you know, his head looked like, your forehead looked like peanut brittle. Anyway, but cool that these came out. I thought that was kind of neat that they, you know, they went that route or whatever. Okay, so we're going more pre-CC. This was I don't know if I showed this already. Nendoroid Drake. Nathan Drake from Uncharted. So that's kind of cool. You're catching a lot of reflection there. I'm sorry about that. I don't mean for that to happen, but kind of cute, you know. He's all like, you know, I'm cute, but I got a gun, you know, I'll shoot 20 people in the room, you know, but he's still cute, you know. So that, anyway, I thought they did a good job with that. Now, this next thing came out a while ago, but this is like one of the biggest, best things I've gotten all year. I'll show you right now, is they released here's the box. I'm going to show you the box. The Soul of Chogokin, Daijujin, which is the Megazord here in America. You can see that. Damn! Oh my god. This is a, like, deluxe, perfect grade version of the Daijujin or Megazord, whatever you want to call it. And what the Soul of Chogokin line is supposed to be is like they make the perfect version of it. You know, it's got every detail from the original work, you know. So what I mean by that is everything is just exactly how it is. So like, let's go through it individually. You got the Tyrannosaurus. It's been a long week, folks. Triceratops. Take a look at that shit. If it would focus, that'd be kind of cool, but it's not. But anyway, you know, Triceratops, he actually, you know, like these things, he's not just, you know, most of the toys, they look like that, but this guy gets like bulky, you know, just like he is in the show. He's a little more tank-like. But like, remember there was an episode of the show where he shot his horns out and it wrapped him in a silver chain, you know, that's all in there, you know. Every little detail that was ever in the show is in this thing, and I'm trying to put this thing back on. Bam. Anyway, you know, lots of die-cast metal parts. The Tyrannosaurus is definitely the best one because we've never gotten like a really great figure of the Tyrannosaurus on its own. They always do like a cool Megazord figure, but like a superposable. I mean, like, look at the tail. I mean, the tail is completely you know, jointed and everything, and like the Tyrannosaurus. I mean, it's just a great figure of the standalone Tyrannosaurus Zord, so I'm feeling that. Anyway, you know, saber-toothed tiger and all that. And they all feel they're all heavy, you know, they're all heavy and weighted, and whoops, I mean, that's kind of crooked right now, so it's not looking the best it could, but, you know, the saber-toothed tiger and the, you know, the pterodactyl is only so good you can make the pterodactyl. I know the mastodon is around here somewhere. But anyway, it all becomes the Megazord. Should I combine the Megazord? That's going to take a lot of time in this video, but piss on it. Anyway, you know, they all combine, you know, this becoming a leg and all that stuff. Naturally, you know, as it does. So you got all the classic stuff. Wait till you see this as the Megazord. It's so cool. We're going to turn this in. This was pretty pricey when it came out, or it is out now. It got distributed in America finally, and it's got kind of its own cool package. The one that I showed you is the Japanese package, but they gave it its own complete like US packaging that actually says Megazord on it, you know, and stuff like that. But however, I will say that it's really expensive, but I got it so much cheaper. I did not pay the full ridiculous price that you're seeing at all these places because I pre-ordered it from Japan extremely early, and I would recommend that. People are always saying like, how do you get your figures? Where do you get your figures? How do you do it? What do you do? What are you doing? That is how, because I spend a fraction of what other people spend. There's people who are always telling me how things cost them hundreds of dollars. And I don't pay that because I find Japanese sites that will sell them or pre-order them extremely early. They're not rare. They're not, you know, whatever. So that's what I would recommend. Okay, so I'm turning the Tyrannosaurus. I'm keeping you posted, you know. Got the leg on there. But anyway, so that's all. I always recommend doing that first if you want it all. You know, because if you pay aftermarket prices and shit, you're a sucker. Don't do it. All right. Mastodon's head is coming off. You know, this is all like real deluxe. Everything's, like I said, it's all metal and nice. And like this, you know, this has a little like retractable like window for things to come in and become the fists and whatnot. So that's kind of cool. Sorry, it's taking me a minute here. Anybody who's not interested in Power Rangers is definitely falling asleep right now. Whatever. All right, so that's going to come up like that, and we're going to put that around. It's going to look real nice. It's the nicest Megazord they've ever released. I mean, there's no way around that. Okay. So we kind of got the body here. I guess they released one of these for Voltron, too. I'm not totally a Voltron guy, so I don't really know. I'm not paying attention to that, but still, like, if it's half as nice as this, it's got to be really good. All right. This is not folding in correctly because I've messed with this too many times, so I apologize. I'm fucking this up. Okay. Bam. Open that up. Bam. Yeah, I'm hoping they do something like one of these for... Did they do one of these for Evangelion? I can't remember. I don't think they did. Like, just a Unit 1 or something? Whoops. I can't remember. Fold. You gotta fold the pterodactyl up. Click that in. Yeah, this is gonna be good. I promise. Oh man. Alright, combine that. We're going no edits. We're not doing edits on this at all. This is raw. If you don't like the rawness, stay out of the sewer. Alright, here we go. Bam, that's in. And you got... Look how nice that looks. Oh my god. Look at that. And it looks... And what's great about it is because every single thing is like jointed. Look, he's like posable, you know? Like you put the fist up like that. You know, it's no joke. I think I left the sword on the shelf over there, so I apologize. But the most solid, like, it doesn't look that big. But man, every piece, you know, is metallic, like everything. There's not a single sticker on here. Nothing is stuck on. It's all painted. It's all really, really nice. Yeah, I know parts of this is messed up, but I gotta move on. But anyway, you know, it's all metallic. It's all looking good. And it's heavy as hell. But like I said, you're gonna see this on sites for hundreds of dollars. You know, if you got it early, you didn't pay that. So that's what I'm telling everybody to do. Man, look at that. That's great. Gosh, I can't get over that. Curious if they'll do that for future Super Sentai and Power Rangers related mecha, but we'll see. Anyway, we're going to move on from that. I know that wasn't very entertaining, but damn, I just had to show. I couldn't not share that, you know what I'm saying? It's a thing of beauty. A thing of beauty is a joy for everyone. Shakespeare. All right, I didn't get a ton in Anime Expo. I found this, y'all, for all you DBZ heads out there. I got, this is Goku. A very, very big spoiler. I'm sorry. He is not alive. He's got the angel wings and the halo, and I'm just letting you know right now, he is not alive. I'm not going to go into it. I'm not going to say anything about that, but he's not. Also, I got this Mr. Satan, or do you say Satan? What do you say? Anyway, statue right here. Wow, look at that. I ordered this from Amazon in like January, and they told me it was delayed every month. So I found it at Anime Expo for like a few bucks. That is not bad. That is not bad. This is not an Anime Expo thing, but after Anime Expo, I went to D23, the Disney convention. Dude, that's a good place to go to, you know, when you go to these conventions, what's good about getting stuff at conventions, you can haggle with people, and you could go like, look, just drop it to this, and I'll buy it and walk away, like, done. I did that a lot at D23. For some reason, I think a lot of people at D23 aren't used to being exhibitors, because it's not every year, you know, and I think they just wanted to get rid of a lot of shit. But this is a full-size Vinylmation Mickey that is painted. They only made 500 of these like years ago. Painted to look like Adventures Through Inner Space. I don't know if you can see that. This was like $50 when it came out, and has only gone up in value because there's only 500 of them. But yeah, it was like a lot of like, you know, like dudes from like Australia and stuff, like people selling stuff that weren't from, I think, anywhere nearby, and they wanted to get rid of this. So I got this for like $10 or something like that. Very cheap, maybe even less. Like they just wanted to not ship it home. So, you know, a lot of these exhibitors don't want to ship stuff home. So you got to confront them and be like, you don't want to ship that home. You don't want to charge me $200. You know, I'll give you 10. Anyway, amazing. I don't know if I showed this already, but they did a Figma Twilight Princess Link. I'm a big fan of Twilight Princess. I really wish that would focus. That would have been nice. Can I? No, I can't. I can't do that. That's not working. Anyway, Twilight Princess Link. I love that game quite a bit. They also did a... see, I don't have this ready, but the Princess Zelda was really nice. I don't know if you could see that. But Princess Zelda, they did a really nice job with that. They don't normally do Princess Zelda, you know, so like her to come with the bow, like the bow of light and all that stuff, that was kind of cool, I thought. You know, they did a really good job. So anyway, I'm still in the middle of like putting those on like a stand. So, you know, he came with all kinds of weapons, you know, he came with like a hook shot and stuff. I don't know if you could see that. Whatever, we're going to pose that later. Do it later, I'm not doing it now. Anyway, take a moment to rehydrate, you know, because you got to do it. All right, we're going to move on. Okay. I think this is all stuff I got from Comic-Con. I'm pretty sure. We're going to find out right now. Damn, this was a great Comic-Con exclusive. I don't know if any of you guys are into the movie Predator, but one of the famous scenes, it almost became a meme. So I know this already sounds really cool, but there was a scene in the early parts of Predator where Dutch walks into an office and sees his partner Dylan, which is Carl Weathers, buff Carl Weathers. And he walks up to him in this shitty red polo shirt and he goes, "Dylan, you son of a bitch." And then he like greets him by like hand wrestling him. It's a goofy scene, but that was the Comic-Con exclusive at NECA this year, was Jungle Briefing Dutch. And look, even in the package they couldn't get the rights to Dylan, to Carl Weathers. So I guess maybe they're working on that, I don't know. So they only did Arnold, but they put his arm, the package, I don't know if you could see that. On the package, it's Wrestling Arnold. And he comes with like his briefcase full of shit. Anyway, I can't believe they made this, frankly. I'm pretty surprised, but I love Predator. I had to get it, so there you go. Bam, right there. He's smoking a cigar. It looks like they shoved a piece of shit in his mouth. You know, I don't know if that really panned out, but good exclusive, clever exclusive. Another clever exclusive, I have to say, is they wanted to do this for a while, I guess, but in Ninja Turtles, in the original Ninja Turtles, they went up against a pizza alien at one point. Like, it was like a beast made out of pizza, and it looked just like the Xenomorph. It looked like the alien from Alien. And I guess they can't release that, or, you know, it becomes a rights issue. However, NECA cleverly got around this by releasing a figure, very coy. They released this and called it the Sewer Alien. Oh yeah, it's a sewer alien. But it's all pizza colored. It looks like a damn cheese pizza. That's what it looked like in the show. But they're being hush-hush. They can't say, "Oh, it's not from Ninja Turtles." No, it's not. What? There's no connection to Ninja Turtles. It's just a recolored alien. But we know what it is. Sewer Mutation Alien. That was a Comic-Con exclusive, so that was a real clever exclusive. I thought it was funny. NECA also had the big exclusive this year was this $200 box of all the TV cartoon turtles. I'm a huge NECA fan, but I didn't think that exclusive was that... I mean, they did a good job, but I didn't think that was better than last year. Last year they had the 16-bit turtles from the arcade game. I thought that was a lot more clever, and so I got those. I don't need all the cartoon... Like, I got enough Ninja Turtle shit, so I didn't get that. Anyway, some other exclusive. Now I gotta show you. This was the big one for me. This was the big exclusive. And I thought I was going to have to wait at the dock outside. You know, a lot of the exclusives, they make you wake up at like fucking 4 in the morning. And you got to like wait outside, so they hand you a wristband to come later. And it's a bunch of bullshit. I thought I was going to have to do this for this particular thing, so I was going to bail. And then I'm walking the show floor in the morning because, you know, I'm in there early because we're exhibitor, you know, whatever. And it's about to open, and I see a sign that's just like basically first come, first serve. Come get one. And I'm like, I can do that. I'm here right now. I am first come, so you will first serve. Woo! All right. It was the Legacy Gold Ranger communicator from Power Rangers. I didn't do that. You can hear it, though. It's the gold version of Power Rangers always had the silver communicators. One Ranger had a different one. And it was when Jason, the original Red Ranger, became the Gold Ranger in Power Rangers Zeo. So when they announced this was just the kind of obscure thing I love, you know? So, man, you gotta see that. Look at that. Oh, 24 karat. Oh my God. Plated. Oh my God. Look at that. Anyway, yeah, you know, they actually gave it custom sounds. You know, the music you just heard, that's not Go-Go Power Rangers. It's the Zeo theme. So, you know, they did a good job. You know, it was kind of cool having the first Legacy Zeo item, you know, but I had to...
You can handle them, Jason.
See, he specifically brings up Jason. They actually did a custom job on it. So, you know, that's pretty cool. And it's in the nice, you know, display case. You know, it's kind of cool. So anyway... had to get that. I'm so happy I did. You know, my favorite exclusive probably because, again, I love the obscure stuff. And it's gold! Come on, you gotta love the gold. If you don't, turn this video off. Alright, Other exclusives that were at Comic-Con. Here's the next. This was a big one, and I guess this sold out even before the show ended, so a lot of you guys are probably going to cry when you see this next thing. But Tamashii Nations, who does figure arts, you know, and all that stuff, they had a big exclusive. I think they had it at another event, too. But it's a special can you see it? Kaio-Ken edition Goku. Not Super Saiyan, none of the Super Saiyan bullshit, none of that. Regular Goku, Comic-Con exclusive. And what it is look, they kind of tinted him red, and he comes with the red aura. So he's doing the Kaio-Ken. Is he doing ×1 or ×2? Or even worse, ×10? You're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to fucking do that. Anyway, they tinted him red so that it looks like the lighting, you know, it looks like he's got that red hue to him, you know. So this is a really cool exclusive, one of the best ones, I think. And those sold out like that. Now these weren't exclusives, but I guess they sold these early at Tamashii Nations. They're not out for a few months, but they did a Tamashii Buddies Megazord. I don't know how many Megazords I need. Answer's probably a lot, but anyway, you know, they're little like super deformed versions of this stuff, and they did a Green Ranger too, and I didn't even know that was coming out, but they had that there. So you gotta get the Green Ranger. Look at that. Bam. So that's kind of cool. Another exclusive. Some of you guys are going to give me shit. Some of you guys are going to throw a little fit about this. I said this on Twitter, but Funko Pops are like people. In a group, you know, you look at a crowd, most of them are ugly, repulsive beasts. But once in a while, one of them's cute. And if you don't admit it, you're fucking lying. Bam. Funko Pop Megazord. Now you could see, I got a Willy Wonka pop right here. You could see how much bigger they made it. This Megazord is titanic. I didn't say Titanus, but look at that. Look how big that is. So I had to get that. I never got any of the other Power Ranger pops because they look like wet clay. They don't look good at all. But the Megazord was cool, and it was an exclusive. And I guess people are fighting over this now because they can't get it and, you know, whatever. But hey, I got it. I liked it. You know, they did, you know, every version of the Megazord, I got to get it. That's just me. That's my thing. If you don't like it, get out. All right. These were exclusives as well. These were not at Tamashii, but they were at the Loyal Subjects, who make little, typically blind box, but little vinyl figures. And they did an exclusive Alpha 5, which I hadn't seen before. So a little exclusive Alpha 5 figure. That's kind of cool. But this next one is the most random ass of all the exclusives. Evil Black Ranger. And again, this is all branded Power Rangers the movie. So like, all right, evil. He does not go evil in the movie, but then you look and look, you could take the helmet off and it's a putty. A putty was the Black Ranger. Is that from something? I don't. And even the description says Adam Park became the Black Ranger. Okay, what does that have to do? How did a putty become the Black Ranger? I just kind of feel like what happened there? And did they make a putty figure? I don't have a regular putty figure from them. Like, they didn't do it. They put the putty's head on a Black Ranger. What happened there? I don't really get that. Anyway, the other thing I didn't know would exist, and this was at Comic-Con. I don't think it's an exclusive, but nobody told me Kid Robot is starting to do Ren and Stimpy vinyl figures. They did this awesome Powdered Toast Man. Look at that. Leave everything to me. I'm fucking Powdered Toast Man. You know what I'm saying? Like, how did that exist? And look, I'm going to grab this for you, awkwardly, but they did a great job on the packaging. You got, like, the vintage logo, you know, like, I love a creative package. There he is pointing at his ass, because that's where the magic comes from. That's like real traditional, like Spumco artwork right there. Because he kind of looks like, what's his name? Michael Douglas, or not Michael Douglas, his father. Can't think of it. This looks like the later animation in the show where like Nickelodeon took the show over, and, you know, you'd get like real simple drawings like that. You know, there's Waffle Woman, don't forget her. But that's more traditional Spumco artwork. I like that. I think they did a good job with that. Yeah, I didn't expect them to do a Powdered Toast Man at all. I've always wanted an awesome figure of this guy. How cool is that? Damn. Anyway, what else happened at Comic-Con? Did I get other shit at Comic-Con? Maybe that's it. That might be it. But after Comic-Con, I had a bunch of other stuff. Actually, some of this I might have got at Comic-Con. I don't remember where I got half the shit at this point. It doesn't matter. This. I like the oh shit. I like the Nendoroids, you know, a lot. The little super deformed figures from Japan. Nendoroid Stormtrooper from Force Awakens, like the new style Stormtrooper. I thought that was kind of cool. I'm just gonna kind of barge through these. This just came out. Sorry, Nendoroid Kylo Ren. You can't even see that. Damn it! I should have taken it out. But anyway, Kylo Ren. I love that he has his masthead, but he has the little like sad boy head right there. But I love that he comes with like the melted Darth Vader head. That's kind of cool. I'm gonna do an emo Kylo Ren skit. Shut the fuck up. But I still like his character. I like that. But this was the best one they did. Nendoroid Boba Fett. Oh my god. Oh my god. Look at that. He looks cool, but he comes with, I don't know if you could see that, a carbonite Han Solo. Like a little like dramatized version of that. It looks like a little crying anime boy. But anyway, yeah, they did a killer job with that. The fact that it comes with both, that was really cool. So they did a really good job with that. Also just came out is Figuarts Batman. Figuarts Batman from the Dark Knight trilogy. So it's got, the Christian Bale style face. So that's kind of cool. I was waiting for this to come out for a long time. Love those movies. One of the best trilogies of movies ever. Because every movie in the series is different. No two are alike. And I love that. So, props. Now, you want to talk about works of art. Let's talk to a good guy. Munch. Or is it Monk? How do you pronounce it? I don't know, but this figure is dope. Check it out. It's the Scream. You ever see that painting, The Scream? Guess what? They made a figure. Look, you can pose him in all kinds of bullshit. You can have him doing peace signs. You can have him doing fucking Gangnam Style, Harlem Shake, whatever the fuck you want to do. So that's kind of cool. And, I like that. And that's kind of a great thing. I think that just about does it. So, I showed you all the good stuff, but I'm going to show you one last thing to wrap it up, but my leg fell asleep. I can't even get up. I want to show you this, and I can't even get up to do it. But while it regains consciousness, I wanted to show you, this isn't really a figure, but man, when the original Power Rangers movie came out, I wanted them to release. You remember they always had the power coins with all the they had the coins on their morpher with all the dinosaurs on them. But in the movie and in the show eventually, but they got the ninja coins, which had animals on them instead of dinosaurs. So they had the ape, the crane, the wolf, the bear, the frog. Win some, you lose some. But anyway, after I wanted these 22 years ago, I remember wanting these. And finally, just this week, they came out. The Ninjetti coins. Look at that. They finally did the coins from the Ninja Power. So you got the fucking frog. Ribbit, bitch. I'm going to cut that part out. But anyway, so you got all those there. I thought they did a killer job with that. They're die cast, so they're heavy. I think that's really cool. So they did a really good job with that. My leg is just not waking up, so there's no way. I'm just going to have to show you from here. So bear with me for just a second. Okay, you can see all these figures here. Look, Leonardo finally came out. Oh my God, Leonardo, look at that. So now I got all three. I got Raphael, Donatello, and Leonardo. Just one spot, a vacant spot for Mikey right there. That's coming in September. So yeah, you could see it from there. I could show you a better shot of that, but I'm not. So, there's a whole bunch of stuff up there. I could show you a better shot, but I'm not. So just kind of imagine. I'm going to leave this open for a minute. Just kind of use your imagination that you saw a better shot. So that's, just imagine you got a better shot of Leonardo. Anyway, that's it. That's it for Figure Update this week. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had a good time. I had a good one. It better not. I don't know why I said this week, because it's been fucking months, but I promise the next one is going to be a lot sooner. So just remind me. You got to remind me. I'm not going to remind myself. I'm not responsible. So, just go ahead and let me know and keep me posted on when I should do it. And then I'm going to do it. And then that'll be the end of it. I'm just kidding. It never ends. I never die. I can never die. Green Ranger style, baby. I'm just going to put the shield on and wield 2 swords and glow